Okay, so this is the second part of that video that I'll hopefully be able to pull together. All in all, location is good again, as I say. I did just walk the outside and I met your agent a little bit ago. So she explained a little bit more kind of the troubles you guys have been having regarding some of the contract process. And part of that really just comes down to price. So again, take this with a grain of salt. This is my professional opinion, but I am gonna start looking at the negatives and what is preventing this house from selling. The first thing would be just the uncleanliness of the house. Hasn't been really well kept. Needs to be vacuumed, needs to be swept. Just general checkup typically when you got a listing like this that's sitting. I noticed this window up here is cracked. The popcorn ceilings are okay. We're gonna start in the master. Obviously the biggest thing right now is gonna be the tub here, and this surround covering that was put in it is completely unusable. And the average buyer is gonna look at this and go, I have no idea how to fix that. I have no idea if it's cracked all the way through, and this was a potential repair. Feels like a fiberglass tub, so there's a good chance that there's a crack all the way under this, which means this whole tub has to come out. This is from a buyer's perspective, mind you. And then they have to get that fixed. They have no idea how much it's gonna cost them. They just know they can't even use their master bathroom as soon as they walk in. So that's definitely a downside, big detractor. I like the flooring again in here. Some of the flooring is a little loose. It's not too bad. We did talk about this cutout from the refrigerator. Not ideal, but not necessarily a deal breaker if some of the rest of the stuff was fixed. The cabinets in the kitchen, first of all, the kitchen's messy. So we'd want to recorrect this, hide all these things, make sure that everything here is put away presentable as possible. The key is to try to get it as like new as possible, because one of your biggest competition, is you already kind of said on the phone, are a new build. If somebody can walk in and spend $250,000 for a house that's about the same size and it's brand new and they don't have to do anything, let alone mess with the tub, and they get nicer, cleaner fixtures, they get granite countertops, that's gonna be a big contender. Let's check this tile here real fast. Okay, so it looks like it was something, it's no longer something. This all in all looks okay. Cabinets here are okay, kind of Formica sort of material there. Transition here's not great, but not the end of the world. We've got some linoleum here, not bad. Again, this is okay. The garage is pretty untidy, but it's a garage, so that's kind of all right. It'd be nice to be able to just kind of set things off to the side, get things just cleaned up very slightly, get it a little bit more presentable, maybe open up these little panels in here so they can kind of see what this is and use it. Water heater's a good bit older. The mothball smell, unfortunately, does not help either. In addition, the AC looks to be pretty old, and that is gonna be a detractor as well, because then the buyers start thinking, well, am I gonna have to buy a new AC? Am I gonna have to pay for this new water heater? Those are thousands of dollars when they're already spending pretty good. After talking to the agent, she was saying that this was one of the biggest detractors, but this one's an easy one to fix. If we can tear up this carpet, pressure wash this area, make sure there's no degradation in the side here, which looks like there might be, but it's not soft currently. But we want to get that cleaned up, try to put some kind of a cap around it, clean up a little bit in here. This can completely change this landscape entirely, and that would really help open this up and make it feel a lot cleaner. Backyard, the wires here are hanging really low, and for buyers who don't know what that means, they just don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, or if they're going to electrocute themselves. That can be fixed for free. We just need to get a hold of the electric company. Typically they'll come out and get that corrected. I think the reason why that corner looks so dark and why people are worried about it is because this offshoot here is potentially pushing water back up underneath the house. So we'd want to extend that out and get rid of that. Not sure what happened here. We've got a little bit of different paneling. So I'd want to just know what that is. If there's a way we could throw some paint on it, that would be good. We've got some tears on the roof, just from what I can see. Now granted, I'm not an expert here, but I can tell you from my years of experience that we're gonna need to get an expert out here to kind of look at this, because if that needs to be replaced, where all those kind of tears are from this tree, it looks like, then you might be looking at a new roof, which means an insurance claim on your end, which is really the easiest way to do it. Now, I know I'm throwing a lot at you right now, but these are the important factors that determine price and determine how well the house will sell. The shed's got a hole in it, not the biggest deal. Getting this cleaned up a little bit would be good, but it's a shed, so not the biggest thing in the world. What would be best to do is move all the stuff that you still want into this shed, or just get somebody out here and we throw it all away. We clean this up, we get this as best we can. Not really sure what's going on with the brick. And then we've got this tree to contend with. I wouldn't cut it down. It may still yield a little bit of shade. We're looking at a west-facing sun here, so that's gonna offer shade for this backyard, but we definitely want to clean it up as best we can. We've got some dead branches, just stuff lying around. If we get all that cleaned up, it'll make a massive difference. And the average buyer only spends about 15 to 20 minutes, 30 minutes usually on a single visit. If they come back a second time, you're looking at about an hour total. Their chances of catching all this, unless they've got a good agent who's got the eye for doing it, is pretty slim. And even I, if this was all cleaned up, wouldn't really point at that tree other than, hey, you might have to think about it later on as something that you need to worry about. And if we get the electric company out here, then they can trim all these trees and branches and make everything nice and clean and safe for us. So all in all, that's probably the best part there. This isn't really too bad. I'm not as worried about this underside as much as I think maybe some buyers have been since the contract's pulled out. But that's probably the sum of it. It's got a lot going for it, but now let's go to the market and look and see what our competition is, and what we're positioned in terms of what we're asking for the house, to see if it's something that makes sense. So take this again with a grain of salt. This is from the objective standpoint of my professional just opinion, having done this for a long time, and what I would be pointing out to other buyers as we come through, and some of our concerns and what may be preventing it from selling given what else they can buy.